In 2022, I purchased a Ford F150 Lightning as kind of a crew vehicle for the channel, but also to help haul things for the animals, for the garden, and for my wife's woodworking projects. Not to mention provide backup power to this house out in the rural foothills of the Coast Range west of Portland, Oregon, when the power goes out, which happens fairly regularly. Regulars to the channel will know that that first electric pickup that I owned sadly met its maker about 2 weeks ago at the time of filming, when I hit a patch of sheet ice and basically slid into a power line that came down on top of the truck, caused me to damage my thumb and also wrote the truck off. I'm currently sitting in the bed of that truck's replacement. It is an almost identical F150 Lightning Lariat extended range. It sadly misses some of the features that I had on the original truck. But today what we're going to do is to start the process of retrofitting this truck with all of the things that I had in that original truck. That's a bed rug and also a powered tonneau cover. Sadly, the tonneau cover hasn't arrived yet. That's a Retrax brand tonneau cover, and we're going to make a separate video about that. But a couple of days ago, I asked all of you if you'd like me to do a bed rug installation video, and here we are. So let's get on with it. Before we get too far into today's video, I do want to point out that I paid for the bed rug, the impact bed rug for the F150 Lightning out of my own pocket. This is not a sponsored video. It's just me celebrating a product that I've used for 2 years that I really enjoy, and I cannot wait to get back into the bed of this truck. Why do I want to have a bed rug? Well, 2 reasons. Firstly, it protects this painted finish of the truck, which ensures that should I sell it at some point in the future, the resale value of the truck is nice and good. It prevents damage, scratches that can lead to eventually rust. So I'll get rid of that potential. But also, as opposed to a spray-in bed liner, which can be very robust and very good for carrying dirty or things that could damage the bed really easily, I find that the bed rug is actually a better choice, because if I damage it, if I get it wet, if I want to wash it, clean it, I can literally whip it out of the back of the truck, I can clean it and then put it back in. The bed rug impact is also really, really durable, and when we're putting camera gear in the back of the truck, it doesn't slide around as it would with most spray-in bed liners. As you can see, this truck came from the factory without a spray-in bed liner, which makes the installation of the bed rug a lot easier. But to install things today, I'm going to need some stuff. First up, I'm going to need something to cut. This is a scraper that we found in the toolbox. Because we're doing a whole load of renovation work to the garage right now, a lot of our tools are not available. So while this is not ideal, it will work. Also, I've got an impact driver, and I've also got a wrench. I've already started by removing all of the bed furniture on this side of the truck. That includes these little chappies, which are what the box link system attaches to, as well as some of the tie-down straps. And then on this side of the truck, I'm going to have to remove a few more things, and I will go through the process with you as we are installing things. Earlier on, Em helped me out by unboxing the bed rug. They recommend that you put the bed rug on a nice flat area and let it unfurl, because it comes kind of all packaged up neatly in a very tall but heavy box. So it is off camera, the other side of the driveway, just lying nice and flat. And when the time has come, we will bring it down and start installing the process. The other thing that you need is some form of cleaning rag, and ideally some isopropyl alcohol. While this truck has already been ceramic coated on the outside, The bed has not been ceramic coated because it doesn't need it, because it's going to have the BedRug in. But even though it was washed, there's already a lot of dust and grime. You can probably see my fingers started to go a little bit dirty there. And we're going to have to get rid of that to ensure good adhesion between the sticky Velcro strips that we're going to have to put in the bed and the BedRug itself. So let's get on with it. Impact drivers certainly make this whole process a lot faster, but the problem with using an impact driver, especially if these were tightened at the factory, is that you can potentially strip the bolts. So I always start it off with a hand ratchet here and just give it a little push. As you can see, they're kind of tight. Now, there are some videos online of people who have put these BedRugs in their F150 Lightnings, and at least 2 of them didn't bother to take these off. They actually basically slit the BedRug. There's an H pattern stamped into the BedRug. You'll see it in a bit. And they cut along the lines and then kind of fed it in from outside. That, to my mind, is not very tidy. And by taking these off completely, you get a really kind of factory looking finish. You'll notice I'm putting these bolts back in, and the reason for that is that I'm then going to use these bolts as a guide for where to cut my BedRug when I'm doing the side and getting that in place. It's also a good way of ensuring that I don't lose the bolts, because I have a bit of a habit of doing that. Although this isn't part of the standard BedRug video, I do plan on putting a Retrax XR Pro aluminium power retractable tonneau cover on here. And the last time we installed one, we installed the BedRug first, and then we had to install the tonneau cover, and then that required us to go back and make holes for the power cable and also for the drain plugs. So before I actually put the BedRug in, I'm going to take a drill and I'm just going to drill out 2 holes on this side, one for the power and one for the drain. And on the other side, there's an identical plug that I need to drill once for the drain cover. 1/2 inch should be fine, but I'll probably make it slightly larger than 1/2 inch. As I noted earlier on, all of the hardware needs to come out of the back of the truck in order for it to look good. And having drilled those holes at the front for the tonneau cover, when that arrives, we turned our attention to the trickiest part of this truck, and it was the same with the other truck. The first big issue are the lights, which are really easy to remove. If you do have a higher trim variant of the Lightning, you'll get these lights that are designed to illuminate the bed. They are reasonably easy to remove though. There is just one catch that lives on the bottom end of the light, and they kind of fit in like that. So if you have access to a trim removal tool, which I highly recommend you do, it's very easy to take them off. I bought a set of trim removal tools probably about 3 years ago, and I didn't use them last time. We dug them out of the garage. And we found them, and it made removing those lights much easier. But the one we couldn't remove easily was the switch for the bed light. And in order to remove that without breaking it, we had to take off the tail light, because then that gives you access to behind that switch and allows you to pop it out a little bit more easily. So just undo these 2, I think they're 8mm bolts. Let me check. Yep, these 8mm bolts here. And then you literally pull the light towards you and then rotate it and then pull it again. This whole light fixture will pop out, and that will give you access to behind here and enabling you to pop out the light switch. That's a bit glory. The last time we actually put a BedRug in, we took both sets of lights out so that we could depress the locking tabs on the lights and remove them from inside the body of the bed. But this time we used the pry tool and it was a little bit easier. The other big headache was removing this, which is the panel for the Pro Power for the bed. For those who don't know, the Pro Power on this version of the F150 Lightning has up to 9.6 kilowatts of onboard power, and a large amount of that is available here. So you've got 4 110, 120 volt outlets here, and then you've got this, which is a 240 volt 30 amp outlet here, and it's connected to the truck down here in the wheel well, and there are 2 sockets that you have to unplug, sockets and plugs that you have to disconnect. I got him to do that because I don't have a whole lot of dexterity. With all of the hardware removed, we can now go ahead and clean the bed of the truck with isopropyl alcohol in preparation for the installation of the BedRug. So let's clean up the space and get that going. With the bed cleaned, at least as best as we can, we've zipped the base of the BedRug to the sides. Remember, this is the BedRug Impact. So the underside of this is kind of a rubberized surface. The regular BedRug just has this same material on the bottom of the BedRug as well as the sides. But in both cases, you have to zip everything together. And then you're going to want to find the Velcro strips that are here, and you're going to put the medium Velcro strips that came in the installation kit and put the Velcro strips on each of these strips on the underside. So with your Velcro attached, you're going to leave the red backing on. Then you're going to flip this up and put it in the bed. So, to me, and then if you grab that, there you go. And we're just going to slide it up. Perfect. Now, it's not going to be perfect because you've got lights and things dangling over. Just bear that in mind so you don't scratch up your truck or break the lights. But the next thing we're going to do is push this into the bed as far as it will go into this top corner. Now you've got the BedRug in and you've put your Velcro strips on the bottom. Just get your isopropyl alcohol and just give it one final wipe, because a clean bed is going to stick better to the Velcro strips. So I'm just going to wipe along where the sticky side's going to go. I should have also said earlier, this is best done on a really warm day because the glue will work better. So you pull off the red tape and then you very gently, very carefully lower this down. And it should stick into one of the grooves. Obviously you want to make sure that this is all the way to the front as well. And you get right into the crevice. I'm using my knee just to push the BedRug right into the corner of the bed. Because of all of the prep work we did earlier, I can now go ahead and do the other side in the same way. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut little holes where the drain plugs for my tonneau cover are going to go, and obviously where the power cables are going to go as well. You won't have to do that if you're just installing a BedRug. Now I've got the BedRug in the bottom of the bed, and I poked holes through for the power and drainage for my tonneau cover, which, by the way, will make that process so much easier. Now I'm going to stick these on right here on the underside of the front of the pickup bed. That is important. If you don't stick these on here, then the BedRug won't follow the contours of the bed. So I'm going to go and get the alcohol prep. I'm going to prep that underside, and then I'm just going to stick some of these on the underside in sensible positions, and then I'll do the same right here on the front side of the bed. I've got the front of the BedRug in, and now I'm going to be doing the sides. It's basically the same as the front. So you're going to be sticking these little red pieces on the Velcro strips along the 2 layers. So one here and one here. Do not pull the backing off yet, because we're going to need to be moving this forwards and backwards. And I'm actually going to talk to you now about some of the stamps that are on the bed. So you'll notice here there are cutouts for things like the lights, and also these H patterns. There's one back here as well. What you're going to do with your knife, when you push this back, you're going to push hard on these screws that are protruding, and that will leave indentations in the underside of the BedRug that will tell you where to cut a little X, so that then you can pass the screws through to secure the hardware, the truck hardware, back to the bed. Some people cut the H pattern out, but I think that looks messy, as I said earlier, so I'm going to do it the way that BedRug recommends. So you push it against, wait for the indentations to be made, and then you can cut a little X for each screw. BedRug does have a cutout for you to use to mark both the Pro power outlets, but also the light and the light switch. But both times I've installed the BedRugs, they haven't aligned perfectly. So we used a paint pen from the other side of the light fixture to mark exactly where the light went, where the Pro power went, and where the switch went, to give us a slightly better install. And you'll note we've got a little bit more here than we had at the front. And I think that's part of the issue here, but don't worry, we will take care of that when we're putting the final bits of the BedRug in place, and hopefully it will all be okay. We've also got the trim removal tool that we can use to shove it up in there. You might notice that there's a little bit of a bulge here. It's caused by the zip for connecting the bottom of the BedRug to the side, and it finishes about here, which just happens to be where the Pro power outlets are. So there was a slight bulge on my old truck as well. It's not perfect, but hey, it's better than what it could be. I do have to put Velcro on the tailgate, but I think that's fairly self-explanatory. You literally just put Velcro on there and then you do it down, but everything else is on. Just as a quick reminder, because I did this the first time and I've just realized I've done it for a second time, these little box link things, you'd think that the top of the T needs to go at the top. It doesn't. It actually needs to go underneath, because then this locks in place. So I'm going to have to switch those around. But other than that, we're done. We're finished. And I think it looks pretty good, even though my thumb is now very, very sore. This is a protected bed. We were able to get all of the lights cut out and all of the switches cut out. Everything works as it should. And I think it's a pretty nice finish. But what about you? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for joining me today, and if you've got thoughts, make sure you leave them below in our Discord chat room, or you can reach out to us on Mastodon. Thanks to the amazing list of people scrolling by on your screen right now. They are more than some of the 1,500 people who help fund this channel through Patreon, YouTube and Ko-fi, covering our bills, paying our team and making sure we can be 100% independent. If you'd like to join them and see your name listed here, just follow the links below. There are a range of different tiers you can sign up for, from as little as $1 a month, or if you pay yearly, just over $10 a year. A huge welcome to our newest supporters: Ken F22, Tom Stovall, Sean Harper, Jeffrey Anderson, Welly Yee, James Fearnley, Rebecca Fussell, SRS 5694, Jack Rupel, BMW K1, Larry Ronning, Sean K, MD, Did Great, Mike Kainka, Mario Murillo, Dave Nelson, Abraham Palmer, Ed Beeler, and Peter Nelson. To join the list and get your shout out, become a paid Patreon member for your week of fame. If you'd like to support us with a one-off donation, you'll find links below to make Ko-fi and Bitcoin donations, and we even have a good old-fashioned PO box you can reach us at. The address is linked below. Also, if you're in need of some swag, you'll find out our swag store in the down below. This month, we are celebrating Wrangling EV FUD with an awesome new design by our in-house artist and animator, Erin. Get yours today by heading to our Redbubble store. We've got some great content coming up, so make sure you're subscribed on PeerTube or YouTube, and we'll see you soon. We make new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you want more, the mighty algorithm thinks you'll like this video, but we also think that this one is well worth a look. See you soon, and as always, keep evolving!